Welcome back to the Project Management Office. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the concept of virtual teams. Most projects are done in a virtual environment and they are called virtual teams. I've mentioned it previously in my videos and I did promise that I would devote one whole video to explaining what a virtual team is. So the term virtual is what it suggests. These teams are teams that are brought together for the purposes of a project. A project, as you know, is a temporary measure that creates an organization that builds a product, a service, or a solution for a business unit. That's how I define a project. So that project has a start, a middle, and an end. It has a scope for what it needs to do. It has targets laid down for it. We break it down into milestones, and then ultimately we have a target date for its delivery, its go live, its launch. So how do we go about doing that? And where does virtual teams as a concept come into that? Well, inevitably, when you're putting a project together and it's a solution, and in this instance, that solution is a customer relationship management solution. So a CRM. It is the method by which we engage with a customer. We establish their record of who they are, how they can purchase our product in this instance. And it's not relevant what the product is, but they purchase a product. We enable that product to be charged to them, invoiced to them, and they pay for that product. And prior to that happening, that product is packaged for them and is delivered to them. That service is delivered to them. They are enabled with that service. And the CRM solution is a software that enables that to happen. We record all of those elements as they take place on what we call the customer journey. I'll be producing a separate video about customer journey and how that operates and its concepts. But for the time being, the general understanding should be that is what we are building. We're building a software solution that enables us to serve a customer, provide them with that product, and that is during the course of what is known as a customer journey. Now, in order to make that work, in a typical project organization, the project needs to reflect the individual departments that need to make that happen. So if you start, you have sales. In fact, no, you have pre-sales, you have marketing. So you have marketing to your customer. So the software needs to cover that part of the customer journey. You then have sales who then sell to that customer. They then turn that into an operational process. And the operational process enables that product to be then created and then shipped out or dispatched to the customer. And that's the logistics piece. And from the logistics piece, you then have the ability to invoice the customer and then collect the money, credit control, collect the money from the customer and bank it. So that's your customer journey. So if you just look at the areas I just mentioned, members of your project team are members from those individual departments within your organization. They become members of the project team. And certainly within the business, they're called subject matter experts. So each one from those areas is a subject matter expert who joins your team. On top of that, you have the core project team themselves. So you have business analysts who put together the business processes and document them and document throughout the process. Your project managers who manage each of the aspects of that project, that program now that I'm beginning to describe to you. This is more of a program of work which has project managers within it. You have people who are going to move data from your old system, the legacy system as we call it, to the target system. So you've got data migration taking place, so you have data experts. Then you have the various parts of this solution need to integrate and communicate with each other. For integration purposes, you have an integration team that ensures that all the different parts talk to each other. CRM solution talks to the invoicing solution, talks to the logistics, talks to the operations, talks to the collection. So those integrations are then covered by your core project team. And then ultimately you have testing. So you have a test manager, you have a test team who manage the subject matter experts who will ultimately at the end of the project carry out your user acceptance testing. So that's a very, very quick explanation of the structure of a project. In another video, I'll be describing all of those aspects of the project team in far more detail and the structure of a project as well. So don't worry about it. I'll be taking you through that step by step. But what I've just told you now is the customer journey, what the customer goes through. It's the processes that the project